This story isn't something I read online. This came straight from a trucker I interviewed back in 2019, face pale, eyes bloodshot, and voice trembling. He was never the same after what he witnessed. He claims it's real. The police couldn't explain it. The FBI got involved. But the truth? It's buried somewhere on Highway 83. My name's Rick, and I've been a long-haul truck driver for nearly 2 decades. I've seen my share of shady diners, truck stop brawls, and broken-down rigs in the middle of nowhere. Nothing comes close to what happened to me on a foggy October night in 2017 on Highway 83, cutting through the plains of Nebraska. This highway is quiet at night. It snakes through stretches of empty farmland and forest patches. Barely lit, no towns for miles. Just dark open road and the occasional flicker of headlights disappearing into the distance. I was hauling a shipment of industrial piping down to Amarillo. The job was supposed to be a straight 12-hour haul. I had my playlist going, coffee in my thermos, and the cool night air keeping me awake. Then I passed mile marker 233, and everything went to hell. The woman on the shoulder. At first, I thought it was a deer, or maybe some trash fluttering on the side of the road. But as I got closer, my headlights picked out the unmistakable shape of a woman mid-20s, long hair, wearing a white hoodie and jeans. She was standing barefoot on the gravel shoulder, one arm stretched out like she was hitchhiking or flagging someone down. I slowed down, heart thumping. It's not every day you see a lone woman out here this late. No car, no phone in hand, just standing. I rolled the window down and called out, "You all right, ma'am?" She didn't answer, just stared at me. Then, without a word, she turned and walked straight into the cornfield that bordered the road. Just vanished between the stalks. No flashlight, no sound, just gone. I stopped the truck, put on my hazards, and grabbed my flashlight. Something didn't sit right. Maybe she was hurt. Maybe she'd been in an accident. I walked into the corn, lost in the cornfield. It felt like the moment I stepped into the field, the world shifted. The flashlight started flickering. The air felt thick like walking underwater. The rustling of the stalks around me sounded like whispers, overlapping and incomprehensible. "Hello?" I called out. "Miss, are you all right then?" I heard it. Not far off, maybe 20 feet in, crying, soft, like a child, but strained off. I pushed forward, heart pounding like a drum line. The crying grew louder until I reached a small clearing, and she was there, kneeling, her back to me, still crying. "Miss, are you hurt?" She turned around, but her face, it wasn't right. Mouth hung open, unnaturally wide, jaw slack like it was dislocated. Her eyes were pure black, like ink had been poured into them. And the crying stopped instantly. She smiled. Back to the truck I ran, full-on sprint. Shame in admitting I nearly pissed myself. I don't remember how I made it back to the truck. But I threw open the door, jumped in, slammed it shut, and peeled out of there like my life depended on it. The flashlight dropped. My radio dead. GPS frozen on 2:33 a.m., and then I noticed something on my windshield. A handprint. Small, smudged. Inside the glass, it's the missing reports. When I finally stopped at a gas station 2 towns over, I called the sheriff. They sent a deputy to meet me, and I gave them a full report. I even drove back with them to mile marker 233. Nothing. No woman. No signs of anyone walking through the field. No broken stalks. No crying. No handprint. Just silence. But here's the kicker. When they ran the description of the woman I saw, the deputy went pale. She matched the exact description of Amanda Keller, a 26-year-old who'd gone missing 2 years prior, vanished after her car was found abandoned near mile marker 233. Doors locked, keys inside. No trace of her ever found. She wasn't the only one. The deputy admitted off the recorder that over the last 10 years, at least 14 people had gone missing along a 7-mile stretch between mile marker 229 and 236. Most of them were solo drivers. A few were hikers. One was a Greyhound passenger who got off at an emergency stop and never boarded again. Not a single body has ever been recovered. Truckers know. Talk to any long-haul driver who's been on the road for more than a few years, and they'll tell you some places don't want you there. We have our superstitions. Don't stop at abandoned gas stations. Don't pick up hitchhikers at night, especially near cornfields. And if you see a woman in white on the side of the road, don't stop, ever. 1 year later, I couldn't stay away. Maybe it was guilt, maybe it was curiosity. But in October 2018, I drove that same route again, same delivery. I told myself it was just in my head. Stress, lack of sleep. At exactly 2:33 a.m., my radio fuzzed out. My GPS froze again, and standing near mile marker 233 was her. Same white hoodie, same dark eyes. This time she was smiling already. I didn't stop. I floored it. Police can't help, you might be thinking. Why hasn't anyone done anything? Why hasn't the area been shut down? They've tried. At least that's what I've heard. One officer who led a search in 2015 went missing during the sweep. His dog was found tied to a post, barking at the corn. Drones don't fly over that patch, they crash or lose signal. The FBI took over for a bit, but classified the reports. No press coverage, no national stories, just locals whispering. Truckers warning each other. The cops won't admit it, but they're helpless out there. Whatever's on that stretch of Highway 83 isn't something you can cuff or shoot. The last call about 6 months ago, I got a call from another trucker friend, Pete, tough guy, Marine vet. No nonsense. He said he saw a kid walking along that same stretch. At night, barefoot, he stopped. He hasn't been heard from since. His rig was found idling on the shoulder near mile marker 233, door wide open, coffee still hot, and a child's handprint on the windshield. Final words, so if you're ever driving through Nebraska and you hit Highway 83 near mile marker 233 and your radio starts to buzz, your GPS freezes, and you see someone on the side of the road, don't stop, don't look, just drive. Because some roads aren't meant to be traveled after midnight. Some souls aren't at rest, and some disappearances aren't accidents. You'd like? I can also generate matching SFX title graphics and YouTube thumbnail prompts for this story to complete your horror storytelling content package. Let me know.